Hey y'all, we're going to start our foam roll routine today on the floor. So whether that's on a mat or a carpet or a towel is up to you, but we'll find our foam roller and just begin to sit on top of the foam roller. And we're going to start on our right side. So we're going to roll to our right hip where we feel the soft tissue of our right glutes. And we can keep both feet on the floor, knees bent, and just start to use the feet and the right hand placed behind you to help roll up and down on the right glutes. So we have our glute maximus, glute medius, and glute minimus. And we also have a lot of deep rotators in the hips. So we're going to try to kind of target all those muscles here as we roll out. So we're going to do about 10 to 15 passes at your own pace. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, we're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh just to kind of get some external rotation of our right hip. And just moving slow and steady. And if you feel a spot that's a little bit more tender than the rest, you can kind of work into that a little bit more. Now I'm going to start to move my right knee open and close just to begin to move my hip internal and external rotation relative to the position I'm in. And that's just gonna help you kind of feel where you're a little bit stiffer and tighter in certain areas. And again, just starting to work into those more sore spots. And we'll just take a few more moments here. And then we're going to begin to move towards the IT band, the iliotibial band. So we want to find that bone up at the top of our hip and we want to stay right below it. And just lowering down onto the right elbow, maybe even take that left foot in front of the right leg. And we're going to begin to just start to roll the upper part of our thigh, the most proximal portion of the IT band. And just nice and easy, roll slowly up and down. Now, I'm super tender on my IT band, so I'm going to keep that right foot down the whole time, or excuse me, the left foot down the whole time, but you could stack that left foot on top of the right leg if you are not super sore here and that feels okay to you. But you can see I've moved the foam roller down just a little bit more, so now I'm getting the lower portion of the IT band, the most distal part, and kind of working all the way up and down, and maybe even begin to bend the left knee and see how that makes this feel completely different. Good. So I'm a big runner and my IT bands get really sensitive and tight. So I try to stay on my foam rolling routine just to make sure my outer knee stays happy through all the running. And when you've done your 15 passes, we're going to start to roll to the front of the thigh. So hiking that left knee up a little bit, come to both elbows. We're going to start to roll up and down on the front of the left thigh, so our quads. We have 4 muscles that sit along the front of our thigh, and they come all the way to that kneecap. So just moving slow. I'm super sensitive and sore here, so take as much weight with the arms and that left leg as you need. And we're just going to start to roll the foot in and out, and you can kind of see my left foot almost like windshield wiper blading side to side, just to roll to the outer thigh and the inner thigh. Good. Maybe even bending the knee up and again seeing how that changes how this feels. Rolling from almost like the IT band all the way into the inner thigh, the adductors. And we're going to take our 10 to 15 passes here, nice and easy. No rush. Know that you can always pause the video at any point and spend a little bit more time on one area if you need to. Oftentimes my right side's a little bit more sore than my left, so I'll spend a little bit more time on my right side. Good. We'll take a few more passes, just nice and easy. And then gently coming back up into hands and knees. We'll move towards the back of the leg now, the hamstrings. So we're going to place the foam roller on the back side of our thigh. Now, if you're not super sore here, you may not even feel this that much, but some days when I've done deadlifts, I can really feel this, so take what you need. 10 to 15 passes at your own pace, rolling from our ischial tuberosity, the sit bone, all the way to our popliteal fossa behind our right knee. Good. And we have 3 hamstrings in the back of the leg, and we'll just begin to roll over all of those, again, kind of moving in and out. And then when you're ready, we're going to move to the front of the right shin, so our anterior tibialis. So we'll come back onto hands and knees. We're going to place the front of our shin right on the foam roller. So find where your kneecap is and then go right below it and just feel where it feels kind of squishy in there. And that's that muscle. We want to stay again on soft tissue and not necessarily roll our bones, but roll the muscles. So I'm going to place both hands down and begin to roll up and down on that shin. Now, if that still feels okay, you can begin to take that left leg and cross it over the right and give a little bit more body weight. And this is almost like an ab movement here. We're going to pull the knees towards you and then push them away. And that's going to roll from the most upper part to the most lower part of that anterior tib. Good. And this gets deceivingly sore. You wouldn't really think about this muscle that much, but it's working really hard all of the time when we're walking and running to help slow that foot down as it comes in contact with the earth. So it's important to give it some love in our foam roll routine. Again, taking about 10 to 15 passes at your own pace. Stop and focus on any sore spots that you might need to. You can roll up and down or side to side. Getting a little cross friction massage. Good. A few more passes. And then when you're ready, softly land the feet back to the mat, hands and knees. And then we're going to roll the back of the leg, the calf and the soleus. So the gastroc and the soleus. The gastroc sits up a little bit higher, closer to the knee, and the soleus is a little bit lower down towards the ankle, all coming into that common Achilles tendon area. So we want to roll from the knee all the way back down to the ankle. Again, really important for runners to stay mobile here. We don't want to deal with any sort of tendonitis or too tight muscles like plantar fasciitis, things like that. So keeping these nice and mobile will help prevent those things. Now, you may be super sore and you can keep that left foot down, but if it feels okay, you can cross that left leg on top of the right. And even maybe using the foot to kind of pinpoint those really tight spots, those little trigger points in the leg. And I have lots of little trigger points in my calf, so I kind of have to find a hybrid between the two positions. But maybe even just using the weight of the leg to help roll. And you can use the hands. And just kind of get in tune with your body. Don't be afraid to kind of explore and see what feels best to you. What feels good to me may not feel good to you at all. So kind of play and explore and take charge of your foam rolling routine. These are just suggestions. And now you can see I'm kind of moving a little bit closer to my ankle, and so really working into the soleus right below the gastroc heads. And working into them, using weight to kind of use that pressure to release the fascia. Again, you can see I'm wiggling side to side for a little cross friction massage. And here, we're going to kind of work on the bottom of the feet. Honestly, I don't really feel it too much with the foam roller. So if you had a lacrosse ball or like a frozen water bottle or something like that, this would be a great place to use it. The foam roller doesn't really do much for me, but if you have really tender feet, this could feel really good to you. Or if you're just starting a mobility routine, this might feel really nice. So feel free to stand up and just roll that foot over the foam roller. Or again, if you have a lacrosse ball, grab it and just do about 10 to 15 passes on the bottom of the foot, the plantar fascia and the toes. And then when you're ready, we're gonna do all of that on our left side. So we're gonna sit back on top of the foam roller, and I'm just shifting so you can see a little bit better. But we're gonna move to the outer left hip on that soft tissue and begin just to roll up and down on the glutes. So staying away from the bones, like we said, just trying to stay in that tissue. And keeping both feet on the floor, or you can begin to cross that left ankle over the right thigh. You can move the knee in and out. You can keep it still. Again, just play and explore. There is no right or wrong way to do this. We just want to make sure it feels okay and something within reason. So I'm okay with discomfort and feeling a little bit of tension, but I don't like pain in the joints, and I don't like something that we can't breathe through. So if you can't breathe through the intensity of this foam roll practice, try to find a way that you can by using the assist of your legs or your hands. Good, so I'll just let you roll out here with me and enjoy the moments here on your mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to lower the foam roller down to the outer part of that left thigh. So drop to that left elbow, elongate your left leg out, and maybe keep that right foot in front of the left. And placing both hands down just to give you a little added support, we're going to roll the upper part of the IT band, the iliotibial band. So this connects from the top of our hip all the way down to below the knee. And again, it gets super, super tight in us athletes and us runners. So just take your time, breathe through it. This might be the most intense part of my foam rolling routine for me, so I really have to make sure I stay aware of my breath and that I'm not holding my breath. And you can reach down and move the foam roller down a little bit more so that we can get closer to the knee, but we're staying away from the knee. And here I'm trying to stack the foot on top of the other, but I'm just not there. It's too intense for me, but it may feel great to you. And you can bend and straighten the knee too, and just see how that totally changes the feeling of this mobilization technique. Good. Just kind of move and play, like we said. Don't take it too serious, just stretching out. And then when you're ready, we're going to move to the front of the left thigh, the quads. So we're going to come to our elbows and hike that right knee up high to the side. And we're going about midway on the left quads. So rolling all the way up and all the way down towards the knee, but staying off of the kneecap. And we're just going to glide that left foot up and down. It can stay lifted off the mat, just whatever feels good to you. And I'm going to begin to move my whole leg in and out, maybe even bending the knee, just so I'm starting to hit all of my quads, all 4 of those muscles. And so kind of getting a little ab workout / stretch here of the other leg, just kind of moving and gliding along that foam roller nice and easy. Again, we'll take 10 to 15 passes at your own pace. Rolling from IT band forward to the inner thigh, the adductors. Spending a little extra time on my left side because I happen to be very, very sore on this particular day. We'll take a few more rolls. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up to hands and knees, take the foam roller behind the left leg for the hamstrings. So just kind of coming up midway through the hamstrings, place your hands behind you and lift that foot and just begin to roll in and out. Again, from IT band to inner thigh. Feeling where you might feel a little stiff. And just breathing through it. Maybe even crossing the right thigh over the left. Give a little bit more weight to this, a little bit more intensity if you can tolerate it. Again, we always want to stay away from that red flag warning pain signal. Maybe a little discomfort, but nothing that we can't breathe through. And then we'll begin to move to the front of the left shin. So coming back to hands and knees, maybe starting to feel right below the left kneecap. We want to stay off the kneecap and come right where you start to feel it get a little soft. And that is that anterior tibialis. And so we're going to roll from the bottom of the knee all the way to the top of the ankle. So place both hands in front of you, back knee can stay down. And just do a couple of test runs on this just to see how sore you are. And feel free to stay there as you roll up and down, or maybe begin to take that that right leg on top of the left for a little bit more weight. And then again, kind of getting a little bit of an ab workout here as we move in and out, and just see if you can handle the intensity of that full body weight on the anterior tib. We'll take 10 to 15 passes at your own pace. And kind of see I'm moving a little to the side and to the front, but I'm staying off that big shin bone, the tibia. Almost working to the outer part of the leg, those lateral muscles along the side of the leg. And then when you're ready, we'll come back down onto hands and knees, and then maybe even get a nice little foot stretch here, resting your knees on the foam roller, tuck the toes, and see if you can handle sitting back on the heels for just a second. And then we will roll the gastroc and the soleus. So placing the foam roller on the back side of the left leg, right below the knee, rolling up and down onto the gastroc heads. Again, windshield wiper blading the foot in and out. Maybe lift the bum off the ground and roll yourself forward and back. And then if that feels okay, maybe even crossing the right leg over the left. To me, this is a little intense, so I won't stay here for very long. I'm going to have my seat come back down and then just use my hands to kind of roll a little bit more onto those tender spots. And so I'm kind of moving a little bit lower to the ankle to get the soleus, but still tapping the upper gastroc heads and just kind of playing, seeing where it feels good to you. Working out all those little trigger points, those little knots in the gastroc heads. I'll take a few more passes here. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and stand up and just roll the bottom of the left foot. So again, if you have like a lacrosse ball or tennis ball or something like that, you could use that, or you just use your foam roller. And rolling from the heel all the way through the toes, just a few times. And that's your full lower body foam roll routine. I encourage you to come back to this practice whenever you need it to stay nice and mobile for all of your adventures. Thanks so much for joining me.